This program was first broadcast on Canterbury's access media station, Plains FM, and was made with the assistance of New Zealand On Air.
Welcome to your weekly dose of the Accountology Show. I'm your host and chartered accountant, Nicole Hague, with an insatiable curiosity for uncovering accounting ideas to help businesses grow. I have so many nuggets of gold to share. Are you ready to make your good business great? Let's get stuck right in. Hey, it's your host, Nicole Hague, and...
Hi, it's Alex Fulton.
And welcome to another episode of the Accountology Show. In today's episode, we're diving into real-life personal budgeting. We've touched on this topic in a few previous episodes, so if you're looking for more insights, feel free to go back and check those out. But today, we wanted a real-life dive into personal budgeting with two special guests, Paris Hague and Violet Fulton, both students at Otago Polytechnic and our respective daughters. So we're here to strip away any guilt or shame around not fully grasping budgeting or financial literacy. And it's a reality for many, especially students and adults as well.
Yeah, even adults.
Yeah. That the idea of managing a budget can feel like a daunting task and one that's often labelled as tedious and restrictive and, let's be honest, not very exciting, is it, girls?
No. Definitely not.
But here's the thing, budgets, whilst they're not flashy, are essential to long-term financial well-being regardless of who you are. But yet, despite knowing this, people do tend to avoid them, and I can't blame them, to be fair. But why? And a lot of this has to do with the perception that a budget just feels like a set of restrictions or punishments. People often associate them with limitations, you can't have your coffee, and making them feel deprived rather than empowered. And we're wanting people to feel empowered, aren't we, Alex?
Sure, I want them to save for that couch they've been after.
The brown one. Yeah. Okay, and that's why we've brought in two students with no formal budgeting or background in finance. And we're curious to hear how budgeting really plays out for people who don't come from a numbers-orientated world and how they handle their money, the challenges they face, and what they've learned along the way. So without further ado, Paris and Violet, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We're very thrilled to have you.
Here we are. Okay, girls, so tell us what you're doing at Polytech.
Yeah. Okay. So you're obviously not doing finance, are you?
No.
Just checking. No. We kind of knew that.
I'm doing beauty therapy
Yep.
at the Polytech, and so I'm doing my level 4 course at the moment.
And that's a 2-year course?
Yeah, 2-year course, so next year I can do level 5.
And you're in first year?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm in first year architecture at the Polytech as well, and mine's 3 years, my course.
Total 3 years?
Yeah, total 3 years, and then I can do masters for 2 if I...
It's a total of 5.
Total 5 if I want to.
So you're going to have to budget well to do 5 years.
Yes, exactly.
So what's your current experience with budgeting, girls? Well, are you budgeting? Because you're both in the halls, right, this year?
Yeah.
So food's provided.
Whole,
You've got your obviously running costs in terms of your alcohol, which is top priority, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and food.
And
yeah,
food.
and food.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Extra
Spare.
food?
Extra food.
Yeah, extra food.
Yeah.
Well, it was laundry at the start of the year.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we'd pay for that.
Yeah.
Clothes.
Clothes,
Yes. Yes,
yeah.
true.
Festival outfits.
Oh, yes, that's
Sure.
important.
Festival costs.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of concerts.
So how do you work this out? Like, do you think about it per semester or over a whole year?
I do
Yeah.
per sem. Or
you
each
do
term.
week?
Oh yeah, I actually am per week, yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of weekly as well.
Yeah.
So you have a set amount that comes in each week, and then you just know I've got
Yeah.
What?
So I run off $60 a week,
$60 a week.
and I did get a student loan.
Yeah.
But I don't use that. That's more as my backup money
Okay.
for
A rainy day
Yeah.
or next year.
next
Or
year.
books?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like 'cause student loan, you also get that extra grand for your books.
Right, at the
And
beginning of the year.
At the beginning of the year, so that's what paid for
Yeah,
all
quite
my...
different to when we went to university.
Quite different.
Yeah. where we could literally ring up and go...
And get a lump sum.
Yeah.
And then people went on holidays or bought ski gear.
Well, we'd tell them that we were going skiing for the weekend. And they
you
really
needed lump
didn't
sum.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah, so quite hard to budget when that's
Yeah.
is
And
that
it's a lot
easy.
harder to get a student loan.
Yeah,
Like-
like it's quite a thorough process. Like
Yeah.
I got mine a couple weeks ago, I think it was, and it was a very long process.
So are
trying to
you
figure it
girls
out.
girls working as well?
No.
No.
Not while you're in the
Not
semester.
yeah, but
No.
we
But
both
in the
have
holidays?
Yeah,
both
holiday
have
jobs.
holiday
Yeah.
jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saved most of my money from my
Yeah.
holiday job.
So how do you, if you've got your weekly money coming in through whatever means, then what happens with the money that you've saved from holiday jobs? Is that in another account?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
so I've got my savings account, which I can access if I need to, but I mostly stay in my, like, what do you call it, like a check account, I think? Yeah, so I get obviously my student loan money and loan money from my parents, and then I kind of, whatever I don't use for that week, I put into my savings. So it's still getting some money, but
Yeah.
obviously, like when I didn't have my student loan, I was going into my savings quite a bit.
Yeah.
But now that I've got my student loan, I can kind of put...
So what's going to happen next year? Because it's a big jump, right, from going from the halls. Because
From
next year...
practically only paying for drinks.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So your $60 a week, Paris, isn't
Yeah.
going to cut it, is it?
No,
Yeah.
Because
because
how much is a flat in Dunedin? You pay per room.
average rent in Dunedin for 2025 is like 210,
Yeah.
290 to 230.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
depending if you're on Castle, Leith.
Which are the
main-
hot
Yeah,
spots.
the hot spots. Yeah,
Right,
so
okay.
like we know one flat that's paying 250, which is the max that we've heard, which is on Lee Street. But
Have you already had a conversation with your flat? Because you've already got your flat in place for
Yes.
next year, right? And your people.
And you're flatting together?
yes.
Yep.
Even better. So have you had a conversation around how food's going to work and how you're going to pay for food, and do you cook for yourself or do you cook as a group?
There's a lot of like ideas up in arm we're like deciding between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is there an app or something that you'd use,
Yeah.
like Splitwise or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the girls, they did my food bag for the first couple of weeks just
Yep.
to kind of get like an idea and have some like pre-planned meals because a lot of events and things happening. So
Yeah.
they did that for the first couple of weeks, and then they started just to kind of budget, and like I think one person has a night each of cooking.
Oh, yeah. that's a
So
good
they
idea.
do that, and then
Well, that takes pressure off,
They-
especially when you've got exams and,
Yeah.
you know, you can
And then
come
you're
home to
only
a cooked
paying
meal.
for one night
yeah,
of that.
Yeah,
And then
right,
lunch
okay.
and breakfast you do yourself.
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So they
And then
said,
power, you pay for power.
yeah,
Yes.
Okay. So, what in terms of budgeting for this, how have you worked out how you're going to do that, or have you thought about?
I know because I've been saving my student loan because you start paying rent from the 1st of January. So, and you don't get your student loan until the starting date of the first day of uni.
Yeah.
Till the last day of uni. You don't get it for the whole year, whereas you're paying rent for the whole year. So I'm saving that. So then for that few 2 months or whatever that is beforehand, that will be coming from my student loan this year.
Right.
So, when my oldest daughter first started at university, her and her friends came to me, especially in the age that you girls are, and they've had their first year in the halls, and then they're going into a flat, and they were like, Nicole, we don't know how to budget for next year.
Yeah.
We've got to pay for rent, we've got food, we've got power. So I sat down with them and went through a plan and sat down, and I've got an Excel spreadsheet, so any of the listeners who want that, just DM me and I can send it out. But the spreadsheet is budgeting, basically putting in the money that you've got coming in on a weekly basis, and then the money that you need to go out. So you've got your power, you've got your food, you need a bit of an alcohol allowance, that kind of thing, and then see what's left over at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Then what you can do is to monitor that as well. So then you can actually use it each week and then track how you're going.
Because it's all very well saying make a budget, but then...
Where do you start?
Well, yeah, you can work all that out, but like you say, you've got to monitor it.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
how are you going? Like, you might have under budgeted, so you might need to add more money in, or
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so-
exactly. And that actually was coming out. And when I sat down with the girls, was okay. They thought that this was the income coming in, and these were the expenses going out, and it's on a shoestring. But they actually realised we haven't got enough money coming in to pay for what we've got going out. So how do we bridge that gap? Do we get a student loan? Do we get a job. And I know for some of the students it is difficult to get a job because it's more of a structured 9 to 5 scenario that you're in, especially at the Polytech.
Yeah.
Or if you're doing, you're making most of your money in the holidays, you need to know how to stretch that money.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, because it might be quite appealing to have that bulk amount of money sitting in your bank account.
Well, it looks like you're wealthy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But then you forget the fact that actually
It's
I
got
need
to
that
last for X amount of weeks.
Yeah.
That's
So you don't get excited and blow it on a trip or blow it on clothes.
Well, we know people that have made a lump sum and spent it before they've left.
Well, I was going to say your older sister might have done it. Yeah, and that's the other thing is that, and I can't speak for you, Paris, and your sister, but I know with Violet and her sister, they've been brought up in exactly the same household with exactly the same sort of talks around money and everything, but you're quite different about your approach to money. And different doesn't mean good or bad.
Yeah.
It's just you handle things
It's
in a different way.
amazing how that is so true, isn't it? Because you generally have one spender, one saver, and but it's you can have chalk and cheese children. They've come up from the same pot. But it's so completely different.
Yeah. Like, do you have what is your memories of money growing up? Like, do you? I mean, your mum was an accountant. It must be different to the Violet's mum, who's an interior designer.
Yeah.
We grew up with jars.
Yeah, you want to tell them about the jars, Paris?
So when we were younger, if we'd got pocket money or Christmas money or whatever that was money-wise, we'd have these, was it three jars? Yeah, 3 jars, savings, spending and
Gifts.
Yeah, so we'd have these 3 jars in our kitchen and we'd put them in.
So divide it.
Yeah,
your pocket
divide
money.
it.
Yeah.
So say if we got $10 and then if I wanted to split it, we either went to the machine and didn't we like.
I think I ended up giving you coins. In
Yeah,
the end.
and
I was going to say, the
because
admin's
it's-
quite high on that.
it was. But that's obviously it was up until you could get an EFTPOS card, and then
and then things changed. But just from those 3 jars, it's like the 3 bank accounts.
Yeah,
it's
and
the
it kind
same.
of teaches you that, yes, you get a lump sum, but then you've got to think about what you need right now, what you need in the future, and what you need for
Others.
Yeah.
other
And
people.
when you wanted sort of a big ticket item, you could visually see, well, that's how much I've got in my savings that I'm saving up for.
And I remember I'd always used to get like a post-it note, say if I wanted a T-shirt that was $20, just say for instance, you'd put the post-it note
So you knew what you're saving for.
so you knew what you're saving for.
Yeah.
Would that sometimes change? Like you go, I don't want that T-shirt anymore. I now want some jeans.
Yeah.
By the time you've saved up the money.
Well, that did happen.
Yeah.
Like by the
I guess
time
it happens a lot.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that, like sometimes the thing that you want the most can change.
Yeah, like it was even like Mum and I the other day, or like a few months ago, I was like, oh, Mum, I really want this top. Like, it's so expensive though. And then Mum was like, right, if you can sell the clothes, prove to me, or like
Where the money came from.
Get some income somehow.
You were not to use your student loan
Yeah,
to purchase it.
Yeah, and then I made the money, and then by the time I made the money, I didn't even want the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Good lesson.
Yeah.
Good lesson.
Yeah.
Good lesson. Patience comes,
What
and I
do you-
think it's not having that lay-by
Yeah.
mentality. What's the new one?
Afterpay.
Afterpay.
yeah.
That's it. Do you
It's-
find that? Sorry, Alex, I knew you
That's
had a
all
question, but do a lot of your age group use?
No one knows what Afterpay is.
that's
I swear.
good. I think
I've
it's a good
never.
thing.
I think some people do use it, but like not really like our kind of close friends. Like
Yeah.
I feel like it's just pointless because it's like the guilt of like you might as well just buy it and just spend
Well,
the
if
money.
you've got the money,
Yeah.
buy it. Yeah.
Then people like having to like it's almost like bills coming in of like
Yeah.
each week or month or whatever
Yeah.
it is you have to pay.
But
for
you
something.
don't. I personally, I hear of people being like, "Oh yeah, I bought it on Afterpay."
Yeah, because I think there's good debt and bad debt.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's definitely a bad debt. Like good debt is when, you might borrow money, like a mortgage, to
like
go and
student
purchase a
loan
house.
would be a good debt, right?
Yeah.
Because you're investing. Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's zero
Yeah, as
interest.
long as you're using it for the right purposes and not to go skiing.
Correct.
Or travel the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yes, so that's a good debt. But bad debt is things like that Afterpay that we were
Yeah.
talking
So
about.
do you have to pay? I mean, I don't use Afterpay, but do you have to pay interest on it? Yes.
Yeah, now my understanding of it is, because I've never used it either, but I actually don't think you really do. I think it's if you
If you forfeit.
yeah, then you get some interest. But I think it's the vendors that
Right.
pay X amount to have that facility in place.
Yeah.
Is interest on many things these days?
Yes, so interest, if you borrow money from the bank,
Yeah.
there's interest on that. So normally, so that's why a student loan is so attractive, because there's no interest until you start earning over a certain level or you leave the country.
So it's from my understanding, well, it's not free money, but it's money that no one's making money on, if that makes sense.
Correct. The government's
So it's
assisting you.
lending you. You're going to have to pay it back.
Yeah.
And I
But the
think
same
that-
amount that we got given.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
mean-
think that's the bit that they forget. You do actually have to pay it back at some point in time. And if you rack it up so it's large, then it's going to take you years to pay off. Like they talk about doctors coming out, don't they? And dentists with these huge student loans, and it's going to take them years to pay that off.
Yeah.
But it is balancing those wants and needs to get your desired outcome.
So, Nicole, you said you've got a spreadsheet that
Yes.
can be applied to something like this.
Can apply to anyone, so it doesn't mean you don't
That'll
have to
be
be in
good for our
business.
flat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you girls can use it for your flat, anyone running a home, the home expenses.
Is there an app that can also
So-
do something like that? Surely.
Yeah, no, you can actually use Xero if you wanted, but
it's a
then
budgeting.
you would have to pay to use it. But that's got all of those facilities in there as well. But the thing is that I love, and I've got all my personal home expenses on Xero, is that your bank feeds can come through, so you can actually track what you've actually spent against what you budgeted to spend for the family. So you can break it down into clothing.
I do not do that.
Power.
Just by the way. I think just sitting here next to you, and this is only the first ever time that I've co-hosted with you, I already have written down budget, household expenses.
I'll send you the spreadsheet.
Yeah. I'm going to have to be the working guinea
Yeah,
pig, I think.
but you can use Xero as well if you wanted to
Which
set up a
I already
separate-
have for my business.
Yeah, so and you know it. So why
Okay,
don't you set
all
up
right.
your own personal,
Okay, well, I'm going to be the working,
and then you can
subject
keep us
matter.
us up to date with how
Okay.
it's going and how you're progressing. But I'll send you the spreadsheet as well, so
Homework.
then you've got both.
Yeah.
You girls probably don't want to set up Xero. You probably just want the spreadsheet.
No,
That's all
I
right.
find Xero confusing.
Yeah, that's all right.
Fair enough.
I've never used it.
What about? Is there any social pressures around money for you girls?
Yeah.
Yes,
I feel like
yeah.
it's quite like almost who's got the most, or like who's got the most paying job, or like
Yeah.
especially in the holidays,
Like, who gets
how many
the most
hours can
hours,
you work?
yeah.
Oh, the
You know what I
hours,
mean?
yeah.
Like if someone had like a working 9 to 5 every week, they'd always tell their friends about it on the weekend, and then like someone who's working like a couple hours,
That would like try get a job, or like
Yeah.
they'll always be like, oh, that's such a good job. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
And it must be quite competitive to find really good holiday jobs.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's more about like the job, not actually the money.
money.
Like
Right.
we don't really talk about money in that instance, I don't think, but like who's got the most
Well,
paying job.
funny you say that. You don't talk about money. We've Nicole and I have talked about, the fact that money is quite a taboo subject.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it is? Would you talk to your friends about money, or you keep it on
it's
the
actually
side?
kind of like I know that like Violet and I we talk about money.
Yeah.
But like
is that because you're close?
that's because but I wouldn't go to like a girl that I've only just met and be like, oh, like
What's your pocket money?
yeah, like I because like that could come across as like snobby or like
yeah.
not
You don't. I feel like it's kind of that thing like you don't want to come off as too like
intense.
yeah,
But
like
would
it's
you-
it's
if-
quite sensitive.
If
like
somebody
I said.
said,
Money's a
let's go out
tricky
tonight,
topic.
and then you're like, oh, actually, I don't have much in my bank account, would you actually say, oh, sorry, but I'm a bit short this
I
night?
feel like
people do say that.
yeah,
people
I
do
can't afford to go out
But then,
tonight.
yeah, it's been said a lot.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot
Or
of
you are
people-
students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd hope that you'd
Or
say
like
that.
Yeah.
a lot of people would be like, oh, I'm only going to have a few tonight because I need this box to last.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that.
Boxes and box of
Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Like if you got a 12 pack or a 10 pack, like they're
Yeah.
wanting that to last for the week.
Just going back to the question that we asked Paris. Violet, what was your recollection of money growing up for you?
Yeah. I've got such bad memory. Like I fully don't remember much.
Did you,
but
remember-
like,
did you get pocket money?
yes, I think we did get pocket money, and we had like a savings that we couldn't touch.
Yeah.
Until I was probably like 18, I reckon.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we
you'd get whatever your age was. That's
Yeah.
how much pocket money you'd get per week.
Yeah. But like I think
That's
some weeks
clever.
we didn't get it because we didn't do many jobs.
Yeah,
You were
there were
punished.
there were
Yeah.
consequences.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you remembered that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also had the little like elephant from ASB,
Yeah.
and it was like a
Oh,
little
yeah.
digital Bank account, so I can see how much
you press
was
the
in.
button and it would show you what you had in your bank. It was
Yeah.
quite cool.
Because that's the problem now, isn't it? You know, with back in our day, we're sounding very old, when we all had cash, you could physically see how much you had in your wallet, or you know,
we'd
and-
take our little bank book to school,
Yes.
and we'd deposit our 50 cents.
Yeah.
And we'd handwrite in,
How
you
much?
know, $23.50 plus 50 cents, you know,
Yeah.
equals.
and then we go to the bank and they stamp it.
Yeah.
I feel like cash now, our day, it's free money.
Yeah.
It's fully free money.
If I have like $20 and I give it to, you know, one of the girls, they go,
What am I going to do with
What am I
this?
doing with this?
Yeah. I feel like
But do you girls, when you swipe your card to buy something,
it hurts.
do-
It hurts. Whereas where you give cash, it's like, oh, that's all good.
but do you think about how much you've got in your bank account, or do you just keep swiping until it goes to decline?
No, every time I go to buy something,
Yeah.
I'm looking at
I
my
You've
have
got
to
cash.
check.
anxiety
It's embarrassing.
around
it.
If it declines.
Like, I think
Not a
I
good
would,
day.
like, when it declines, my
Wait,
heart
do
just
you have
sinks.
any idea how much is in your bank account when you go to make a purchase?
Yes.
Oh, you do?
I always do. I always check before.
Yes,
I
I
Oh, so
do.
you,
Okay.
you do know how much, so you know it's not going to decline.
Yes,
You've
yeah.
got like,
Yeah.
oh, see, I think I was a bit more of the blind.
Yeah. Oh, hope
Swiper.
there's enough there for a coffee.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I feel like everyone's always checking their bank before.
Yeah.
Before.
Well, and I guess you can do that because
Yeah.
we were like literally blind because we wouldn't know because
Yeah.
we wouldn't have gone to the bank or updated our bank book.
Yeah, to get a balance.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got some quick fire questions for you girls.
Okay.
What's your money mindset? Scarcity or abundance?
It's your thoughts around money.
Yeah. So do you think you've grown up and sort of had this feeling of, oh, I need to sort of look after what I've got because
Yes.
there's not much of it?
Oh, wait.
Or do you think, oh no, I'll just
Quite
keep
a hard
spending? 'cause-
question.
It is a hard
Yeah.
question, isn't it? Or do you go,
Well,
you know,
I
I'll
reckon
just buy that because money will
I've
come
been
in.
a spender, like, all my life until coming to uni.
Right, so it's taught you a lesson.
Yeah, because
to-
you realise, like, it's even down to, like, buying shampoo and conditioner.
Yes.
Like,
Well, now
or
you know the
toothpaste.
value of it,
Yeah.
right? Like when you go, you know, like obviously it just turns up at
Yeah.
your door when you're at home. The milk. Do you know how much a block of butter is?
Wouldn't have a clue.
No, neither. Nicole will probably know. But, you know, it's those sort of
Too
things.
expensive. Cheese is ridiculous, like
cheese.
$12 a block or something ridiculous like
Or
that.
cucumbers are coming down.
Yes, you're all over cucumbers, aren't you,
Cucumber
Paris?
salad.
What we do kind of, there's some other questions here. What do you know what sparks joy for you?
Are you talking like a money sense?
It could be.
Anything.
Anything.
Yeah, I do feel like when you have to get a package coming or
that is
that's
a great one.
Instant
pretty fun.
gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Is that the parents' care parcel that arrives?
Yeah.
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 Package.
And it's like the unknown of what
Yeah.
you guys have got us.
Yeah.
yeah. I guess making money is good. Like when I have money coming
Yes,
into
yeah.
an account,
You
it
do
does
enjoy
make me
that.
happy.
It's
Yeah.
like when it came in every Wednesday, it'd be exciting to know how much.
Well, it kind of feels like you're being rewarded for what you've done, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. And that's the kind of beauty of wages,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know.
And because my course as well, I'm working every day, but I'm not getting paid. You know what I mean? So when like something
It's
comes
quite
in,
a practical
Yeah.
course, right? So you're actually doing the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not getting paid. But knowing that you will get paid.
Yeah.
Just quickly on that, as part of your course, are you learning how to set up a business and
Yeah.
budget money? And
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great question.
So we did a case study actually about in one of our classes, our teacher got us to make up a business, make up a name, find a property, like budget all of our like equipment
Great.
to be able to do a business. Like we learned about all the laws in Dunedin, what they
The bylaws.
the bylaws.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was quite good to get an
Because
idea
we haven't
about
even
all
touched
that.
on that aspect because there's a whole aspect of this isn't taught in schools.
Yeah.
Is
But I
it?
didn't know what a bylaw was till Violet taught me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, even the budgeting, because everyone leaves school and goes,
Well, no one wants to
Outfitting.
take accounting,
no, well that's
like, voluntarily.
no, it's quite a heavy subject.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit boring.
Well, like, because you've actually got to do the work.
But even KiwiSaver, you know, that whole conversation around, and that's probably a whole new topic in itself about discussing
But
how does
not-
that work when you
Not
get
many
paid.
people know about KiwiSaver, like
No.
how it actually
I
works.
didn't till we started talking about it at home.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's another topic.
exactly, because when you've got your pay, because I remember Paris, when you first got yours, you're like, what are all these things that are coming out? What are all
Yeah.
these taxes? And then
Oh my God, I think it was like $300 out. I was like,
yeah, that hurts.
heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, right. You've got an all expenses paid dinner at any chosen restaurant in the world. Where in the world would you go and whom would you dine with? You two can do a joint one if you want.
Okay.
Oh, anywhere in the world. That's
I
kind of
reckon like a Japanese restaurant.
yeah, like Nobu.
Nobu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Yeah,
yeah.
In New
Where's Nobu?
York?
In New York.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's
Or
it?
Malibu. Or Malibu.
Yeah,
It's quite nice,
okay.
that one, looking at the view.
Yeah.
And who would you
have?
with?
Do you know what? Recently, I've been watching the Monsters.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The show.
What's it? The show on Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
those two
Menendez
boys.
brothers.
Yes.
I'd want to have dinner with them.
Oh, would?
Yes.
Do you
I
know-
want to know everything.
Oh my
like
God.
figure out all like the little details that
You
you
love,
get told.
you love a bit of true crime.
Yeah.
You definitely want to be in a public space, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're
my
dining
my
with them.
people would be Rebel Wilson and The Rock.
I love Rebel
Imagine
Wilson.
how funny that, and Kevin Hart.
Yeah, fair enough.
What a funny dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be fun.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be
But
amazing.
yeah, probably Nobu.
That's kind of
Yeah.
two ends of the spectrum, skills.
Yeah.
You've got super
I
funny,
feel like
super...
you could either go like a strategic route that I've gone, but then there's also some people I just want to meet.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
I just reckon that'd be a funny table.
Well, that brings
Yeah.
us to the end of today's episode. Thank you so much, Paris and Violet, for joining us and
Yeah,
sharing
thank you,
your
girls.
real life
Thanks for
experiences.
having us.
Yeah.
High five. Yeah. It's been an eye-opener to
Yeah.
listen
Yeah.
to students and their budgeting and your financial background and financial literacy.
Yeah, you've both kind of opened our eyes to a little bit about how students feel,
Yeah.
what they think about. I mean, you know, these are conversations we should be having at home, and, you know, feeling like you can talk about money and you can talk about budgeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyone that wants the spreadsheet, just sing out. 'Cause we've
Yeah,
got that
that's,
there,
I'll be singing out, that's for sure. Yeah.
ready to go.
Doesn't matter what age you are, you can
No,
always
100%.
learn, and
Whether you're in business or not in business, and yeah, I think everyone should be learning this. We should send it out to the schools.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Oh, thanks, girls.
Thanks, girls. Lovely chatting with you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on the Accountology Show. If you have enjoyed today's show, you're in luck because we'll be back next week. You'll find past episodes at plainsfm.org.nz and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify to never miss an episode. We would love it if you would leave a 5-star review and tell a friend or business owner who would benefit from hearing our show. We also love hearing from you, so reach out with any comments or a topic you'd like covered, and even suggestions for whom we should get in the studio next for an interview. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn and TikTok. Our handle is NH Plus Associates, that's NHPLUS Associates, or email me, nicole@nh-a.co.nz. But most importantly, thank you for taking the time to listen to the show. Until next time, keep building that business into the empire it absolutely deserves to be.